We have yet again another major trade update for your Los Angeles Lakers, as there have been some new crazy details revealed about an elite wing. And based on recent events, of course, with landing Luka Doncic, this definitely can really come to fruition, perhaps for the Lakers. And welcome to Lakers Digest here, guys. My name is Hunter Pitcoff. We cover everything, and I mean everything, surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers. We've been getting a lot of love, a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new people tapping in, and we appreciate it, guys. But if you have been watching our content and you do like what you're seeing and you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button, because 86% of you guys watching us are not subscribed. And again, we appreciate the support, but if you want to be tapped into everything we're doing, stop what you're doing right now. Click that subscribe button, reach that platinum status. It don't cost you a dime to do it, and you can really be all in on everything going on with your LA Lakers. So let's talk about it here, guys, because we have this report to share, which is not breaking news. It happened earlier over the last handful of days, but we're going to talk about how this report that's not Lakers specific can actually have a trickle-down effect, especially with what we've seen over the last 24 hours. So Bobby Marks for ESPN saying that the Pelicans are going to make a major trade in regards to Brandon Ingram's future with the team. The Pelicans are all but a buyout, all out of the playoff contention while sitting above the luxury tax, which is definitely not a good place to be in if you're a bad team. And Mark said, quote, "They have not finished the season over the tax in franchise history. They won't do it this year, especially in the lottery." They threw out a couple names here, but in terms of Brandon Ingram here, who's making $36 million, he's on an expiring deal, set to be a free agent. They're trying to take back less money in that return in order to dip below the tax. So, in other words, they don't want to commit long-term to Brandon Ingram. They're not planning on signing him to an extension, and they're trying to save some money here as well. And trading Brandon Ingram for $2 million less can potentially do that for the Los Angeles Lakers. So we're going to talk about what it will take to land Brandon Ingram, why he does make sense, why he doesn't make sense. We'll cover both sides of the coin here and what the Lakers would have to do in order to get that deal done. But let's also look at what Brandon Ingram has been doing for the New Orleans Pelicans this season, averaging 22 points per game, 5 boards, 5 assists, over 46.5% from the field, 37% from three. Of course, he's 27 years old here, guys. 6'8", maybe argue 6'9", has really long arms, well over a 7-foot wingspan as well. A former number 2 pick by your LA Lakers back in 2016. I was actually at that draft when they took Brandon Ingram out of Duke, and he's a legitimate 3-level scorer who can handle the basketball, a really good ISO scorer, and somebody who can really generate shots for himself and others. We saw now that the Lakers have Luka Doncic, he is clearly going to be the future of this team, right? They are going to build around Luka for the next 10 years, and now they have to figure out ways to surround him. Starting now, the shot clock starts now for the Lakers to figure out pieces that can mesh with him. Well, Brandon Ingram, 27 years old, Luka's 25, so 2-year difference in age. So these two guys are kind of on the same timeline in terms of their development as players. Now, Brandon Ingram, he's not really shown that he could be a reliable number 1A option on a team, but he could definitely perhaps be a number 2 option. And he possesses a lot of the same ISO skills as Kyrie Irving. Not as good as Kyrie Irving, but he is a lot bigger than Kyrie and prevents a different threat at the basket. Kyrie's more of a finesse kind of finisher. Brandon Ingram is able to finish a lot more with his length and size. So to have a guy like that, a good ISO scorer, good in the post as well, that could be someone who could be a very intriguing fit next to Luka Doncic. And when Luka is on the bench, and also thinking post-LeBron era, someone like Brandon Ingram has the size to play with Luka in the starting lineup, and he also has the ability to play on the ball and off the ball because he's a pretty good shooter as well. And it's good to have another creator like Luka had with Kyrie Irving on your side, as Brandon Ingram can potentially be that guy next to Luka Doncic. Those are the pros of trading for him. The cons, though, Brandon Ingram has been out with a left sprained ankle since December 7th. So this is, in terms of the immediate future, this is a guy who has not been super healthy this year. He's only playing 18 games. And guys, he just hasn't really been super healthy throughout the entirety of his career. So that is the big risk. That's the reason really why the Pelicans don't want to pay him a whole lot of money. But if the Lakers can pull off a trade, Brandon Ingram, and we'll look at his contract right now for you guys just to give you some perspective here, is on the books for $36 million. There might even be a chance that the Lakers, if they did trade for him or really any team that trades for Brandon Ingram, they can get him on a bit of a discount here because he might not be, commanding $36 million on the open market. He might not get that money. A lot of teams, especially with the new CBA agreements, are a bit pressed for cash. And they're not going to be able to give guys as much money as maybe they were freely able to in the past. So if they're able to get Ingram on a more affordable deal, obviously it's going to help Luka Doncic. But if someone even better arises, that could be a tradable contract that they can use down the road to even get a better upgrade of a Brandon Ingram next to Luka Doncic. So you're thinking 3-4 steps ahead of that point. Got to get to step one, of course, and figure out what is the way that you can land Brandon Ingram on the Los Angeles Lakers. What is it going to take? So Brandon Ingram is making $36 million, right? And he has no money on the books next year because he will be a free agent. So if the Lakers trade for Brandon Ingram, there needs to probably be some sort of preemptive agreement there that he's going to re-sign with the team next season. So that's step one. Then how do you get to the money? Because the Los Angeles Lakers right now are a first apron salary cap team. So they have to give up more money, more contracts than they are getting back in return. So Brandon Ingram is making $36 million. The Lakers need to give up more than $36 million worth of contracts to get to that number. So the two guys you look at are Hachimura and Gabe Vincent. Both those guys almost definitely have to be gone in that deal. They combined make about $28 million. So you'd have to find out some other way to make that work. And even realistically, guys, could they throw in Austin Reaves? Yes. Would the money work? Yes. Do the Lakers want to do that? Probably not. Could you? But maybe with the Luka Doncic trade, maybe they change their mind. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think they would. Then you look at Jared Vanderbilt. He just came back. Would the Pelicans want to do that? I don't really think they'd want to take on Vanderbilt because he's making, he's on the books for 3 more years with his contract. They're not going to want someone who's barely played, and they don't want to take on more money. So realistically, the way the Lakers can make this work is they probably would need to get some sort of third team involved, like a Utah Jazz again, or they'd have to get one of these bottom-feeding teams to ultimately give up some even more salary, or they probably have to make some weird alignments to work in order to really get in a Brandon Ingram. So that's why this trade, it's going to be pretty difficult to pull off. If they still had D'Angelo Russell on the team, this could have been possible, but it would be very difficult, although I am intrigued by the potential fit of a Luka Doncic and Brandon Ingram, two guys that have a lot of size and, of course, scoring and playmaking ability. That would be very intriguing sort of tandem that the Lakers could maybe get a head start and try to figure out what works well with Luka Doncic and what doesn't for their reasons. Even though, the Mavericks kind of laid out the formula to success, and I think the Lakers should follow it pretty closely and try to make their adjustments and do better than maybe what the Mavericks did, and, of course, try to win a championship and not just get there like Dallas did. But let me know down below in the comments, guys, what you think of a potential deal. Of course, the Lakers have a first-round pick. They got a second-round pick. They do have some picks and still movable contracts, whether it's for Brandon Ingram or anybody else on the trade market. And definitely let us know, guys, who you think some of those guys that the Lakers should target. We'll try to make videos on them, too. It is the February 6th trade deadline. We're a few days away from getting there, guys, and a lot of you guys are watching our content and are new. We appreciate the support. If you've made it all the way through this video, guys, stop what you're doing right now and just hit that subscribe button. Again, 86% of you guys are not subscribed. And if you're making it this far, you like the Lakers, you like what we're talking about here on Lakers Digest, click that subscribe button. I promise you guys, you will not regret it.